Success isn't just about money. It's about winning in every area of life. Welcome to the Larry Hulsey podcast, where we dive into leadership, business, personal growth, investing, and family so you can prosper the way God intended. I'm Larry Hulsey, and each episode will bring you the wisdom, strategies, and motivation to help you level up in every part of your life. So if you're ready to grow, lead, and succeed, let's get started. All right. Hey, how's it going? This is Larry Hulsey. This is the Larry Hulsey podcast, of course, and good to have you guys on today. We got an exciting lineup for you, some very interesting, important ideas for winning in life, whatever you want to win at. We've got some ideas. I thought I put my Do Not Disturb on, but here we go. Oh, it's because it's my daughter texting me, and she doesn't go to the Do Not Disturb file. So anyway, if you enjoy what you see here, definitely subscribe to our podcast. You can get it on YouTube at Larry Hulsey. You can also find it soon. We'll be on all the other podcast platforms. But for now, YouTube at Larry Hulsey would be the place to go. Okay. So what we're going to talk about, we've been covering the 17 Principles of Success by Napoleon Hill. Okay. And today is going to be the 11th principle, which is to have controlled attention. Okay, and this is very, very important part of success, and it's really a big, we have an epidemic in our world today of people not being able to control their attention, and that's because of all the inputs that we have, so many, like for example, like my phone just going off here, I've got it on Do Not Disturb, to try to be able to control my attention and keep it right here with you guys right now. But we have so many inputs. We have so many things pulling for our attention constantly, and we need to be able to control it and control our focus if we're going to do anything big, if we're going to do anything successfully. I mean, anything, even not anything big. Even if you're going to do something little, you got to be able to control your attention, okay? So, one of the major points, like I'd say Napoleon Hill's major point in winning, in doing something big, is to have a definite major purpose in your life. So a definite major purpose that you're going for. And when you have that, you automatically begin to control your attention. You begin to have controlled attention. You begin to have self-discipline. You become more organized in your endeavors, and your thoughts become more organized, and you have self-reliance because you're focused on that one definite major purpose, okay? And when you have that, that just brings clarity to your mind. It brings clarity to what you want to do with your life, and your subconscious actually will go to work for you when you give it that conscious effort. You're like, okay, that's what I want. That's what I want to achieve. When you do that, now your subconscious mind goes to work for you and starts to figure out ways that you can make it happen, all right? So Napoleon says, I'm just going to read some of my notes here as I go along, but he says, controlled attention, that success without controlled attention is impossible. Success without controlled attention is impossible because I mean, you guys get it. All right. So when he talks about this, he talks about it's a fundamental principle of self-discipline. And whenever you have controlled attention, it's going to aid an individual in the development and maintenance of habits of thought, which enable him to fix his entire attention upon any desired purpose and to hold it there until that purpose has been attained. How many people do you know who start something and quit? And let's say they start their, lots of people get in network marketing things, right? I'm in network marketing. But you have lots of people that get in network marketing businesses, and they start, and before you know it, they're on to the next thing. They're either doing some other thing, or they're doing, they're just back to their job. They're like, oh, yeah. You're like, are you still doing that thing? They're like, oh, no, whatever. And it's because they can't fix that purpose, that goal, that achieve what they want to achieve in their mind and just go get it. They can't control and hold a thought, okay? So they just let another thought come in. They let a negative thought come in. They let the voices in their little devil voice telling them that they can't do it. They let that override the dominant thought of what they really want, and then they don't really get what they want. They don't really get anywhere because they can't just hold that attention, all right? So All right, so let's look at next point here. He says that concentration on one's major purpose projects a clear picture of that purpose upon the subconscious section of the mind and holds it there until it is taken over by the subconscious and acted upon. Now, here's the deal. Your conscious mind is a very small portion of your overall thought. Okay, your subconscious, your conscious mind does what it does. Okay, and that's what you have control of. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful force probably that you have available to you. Okay, so that subconscious mind is what breathes for you. It's what makes your arms move. You don't have to think, okay, I need to move this muscle and this muscle to move my hand over here. You just move it. Your conscious mind says move it. The subconscious mind goes to work to make it move. Your subconscious mind beats your heart. It breathes for you. It drives you a lot of times to and from your workplace or wherever you go constantly. Have you ever been actually driving somewhere and say you're going to work and you're like, oh man, I didn't even think about how I just got here. Well, because that conscious activity that you started then moved into the subconscious because it became a habit. And that habit is what drove you to and from work. Now, is that the best? No, you really ought to pay attention when you drive, but that's an example of how the subconscious mind takes over. And when you've developed habits of thought or habits of doing, that subconscious mind just literally takes over for you. And it can be very powerful or it can be very destructive depending on the habit, right? So if we're talking about a habit of a winning habit, say it's that you go to the gym, okay? And you just go to the gym every day and you've gone to the gym every day for 20 years and you couldn't imagine not going to the gym. That's a great positive habit, okay? But if it's a habit of drinking alcohol and you drink, somebody who's been an alcoholic or who's drank a lot for a lot of years, now it's just habit. And that's a negative habit that can destroy your life, right? Or a habit of, good habit of reading books versus not reading books, okay? So you can develop these different habits and they literally just take over. Once they're a habit, they're very hard to break, good or bad, all right? So here we go. All right, so you may achieve controlled attention by the application of 6 different factors. There's 6 factors you need to achieve controlled attention. Number 1 is definiteness of purpose. Okay, so we talked about that. We did a whole lesson on that when I started this series. Definiteness of purpose, that means knowing what you want very clearly and so that you can go get it. Okay, all right, so the second factor is imagination. And so Napoleon puts it this way: imagination through which the object of one's purpose is illuminated and mirrored in the mind so clearly that its nature cannot be mistaken. Here's what that means in plain Larry English, okay? You need to use your imagination to imagine the life that you want, to imagine the incredible dream lifestyle that you want, and you need to fix your mind there and not let your mind get down in the minutia and the details of life, because on your way to this great lifestyle that you envision, you're going to have plenty of opportunity to deal with problems, deal with challenges in your life, in your business. You're going to deal with rocky roads. You're going to deal with, confrontations. You're going to have all kinds of things you're going to deal with along the way. But you need to keep your mind focused on the definite major purpose. Focus on that ideal lifestyle that you're looking to attract, because whatever you focus on is what you're going to get more of. So focus your mind there and focus your mouth there. All right. Now it's very easy to, some people, they have these, they imagine what they want, but then they kill their harvest with their mouth because they constantly talk negative. They talk negative over there. Well, it's not happening yet, right? Like they've started doing some work on their business or their dream or whatever, and they can't control the attention to focus on the dream life that they want. So they keep talking about, the problems that they're dealing with now, but you have to deal with problems. You just certainly got to deal with things, but you want to make sure that your focus is on what you want to attract. Okay? All right. So next thing is the next factor is desire. And you want to have your desire turned on until it becomes a white hot burning desire. So if you want to achieve something, great. You've got to have it to the point, you've got to imagine it to the point that it literally becomes a burning desire. If you want to do something big, it cannot just be a little piddly kind of, oh yeah, I kind of want it, or yeah, I'd like to have that, because that's not going to give you enough fortitude to go through the obstacles and the battles and the challenges that you need to get through to go do something big. Okay. So, all right. So, fourth factor is faith in the ultimate achievement of your purpose. Okay. Faith that you're going to make it to that definite major purpose. Now, this is interesting because we can what if ourselves into failure, or we can what if ourselves into success. So as you're having playing the what if game, and you're thinking, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Too many people get what if'd to death into failure. And here's what I would recommend. Okay, if you're going to play the what if game, why not play the what if game in a positive manner? Why not play the what if game for, man, what if this works out? What if I really do all these things that I've set out to do? What if I make it? What if I score? What if I become so successful like I'm thinking I can? What if I really achieve this definite major purpose? What's my life going to look like? And play the what if game in your favor, not against yourself, because you're going to get better results that way. Okay? Because again, whatever you focus on, that's what you get more of. All right? So that was the fourth factor. Okay, fifth factor, the full force of the willpower applied continuously in support of faith. Okay, so that means you just have to have the will to win. And you have to have the will to keep going no matter what you run into. And I'd say that's one of my great skills is I can just keep going at it. And I just will. I'll just keep going at it and keep going at it. And I'm extremely stubborn in a lot of ways, but that's one of the great ways that I'm stubborn is I just don't quit. I ain't quitting no matter what. Okay. All right. So sixth factor, the subconscious section of the mind picks up the picture you've conveyed to it and carries it out to its logical conclusion by whatever means may be available. All right, so when you just refuse to give up that thought, okay, and that attention on on your definite major purpose, eventually your subconscious mind will take over and you're just going to get it, okay? I know for me, when I started my business, I had this big goal that I wanted to achieve, and I thought I'd get it my first year. Didn't happen. Thought I'd get it my second year. Didn't happen. Thought I'd get it my third year. Didn't happen. Thought I'd get it my fourth year. Wasn't happening. But I just wouldn't give up the goal. I wouldn't give up the focus. I wouldn't give up the work. And guess what? The fifth year, I hit that big goal. And it seemed like a long time. And it was a big goal, guys. It was a really big goal and a life-changing goal. I really thought that it would be sooner. I was hoping it was sooner, during the whole struggle. But now looking back, I'm like, man, it was 5 years to create this incredible business that's taking care of our family for the rest of our lives. So you got to just stay in there, though. You got to stay in the game. You got to stay with the focus. You got to stay focused on that definite major purpose. Okay. And then you got to get a new one. And when you hit that, like for me, that was like the most I thought I could ever achieve. And then I'm like, okay, well now I need a new one. I need a new thing to focus on. Okay. A new level of success to focus on. All right. So let's look at this. Napoleon Hill, he says that effective concentration requires that one's attention be fully controlled and directed to a definite objective. So we talked about that. He said controlled attention is the highest form of self-discipline. It's the act of coordinating all the faculties of the mind, and controlled attention is organized mind power. Who doesn't want organized mind power? Well, how you'll get it is by controlled attention. Okay? All right. So, so hidden in those two words, controlled attention, is a strange power that will enable you to remove all the self-imposed limitations which most people accept or set up in their own minds. Whoa. Limitations by which some are bound throughout their lives. I heard somebody say recently in an event that I was in, man, how did they put it? They said, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. How many people do we know that they will fight you tooth and nail, that they just can't win? All the reasons why they can't win, all the reasons why they can't lose weight, all the reasons why they can't succeed. They will sell you and they will sell themselves on why they're limited and they cannot win. Well, that person gets to keep those limitations. They don't get to go anywhere in life. If they're going to fight for them, that's what they get. Why not fight for your possibilities? Why not fight for what you could achieve? Why not live in this little baby pity party and shift your focus and decide to do something bigger? Okay. Now, here's what I know. 98% of people aren't going to do that. 98% of people are going to live by their excuses. Only 2% are really going to live a limitless lifestyle. And that's okay. And I know if you're listening to this, you're probably part of the 2%, or maybe you're aspiring to be part of the 2%, and you just need to give up the excuses. You need to give up the limitations. I understand that some limitations are real to you, but I bet that there's somebody with the same limitation that you're fighting for and fighting to keep that has overcome that limitation and done something great with their life. So do it. All right. So, okay. What's next? All right. So let's look at all of the kind of recap some of the principles of success that surround this controlled attention concept. So let's see here. So you're going to have the mastermind principle, which we've talked about, applied faith, the habit of going the extra mile. What a great habit, man. Go the extra mile. You know, Jim Rohn taught me when I was mentored under him and was able to be around him for, the last 8 or 9 years of his life. He really talked about going the extra mile and how if you are, he said, if you want to have a job, if you'll always do more than you get paid for, you'll always have a job. And I thought that was such great advice. And not that I want a job. I don't really want a job. I like having my own business and having my freedom, but it applies to your business too. If you go over and aboard and you give your customers more value than what they pay for, you'll always have customers. Okay. So you want to go the extra mile and not just not have minimum disease. Okay. So minimum disease is going to get you just the minimum. Like you don't need to be thinking how little can I do and get results. Okay. So many people think that. And it's sad because that minimum disease will hold you back and you'll never get ahead in life. Okay. You need to think, how big can I get it? How much work can I do? How many people can I get in my business? How big could I make this thing? If you start thinking that way, you're going to have far more success in life and I would avoid the minimum disease. Okay. All right. Next is personal initiative, then self-discipline, creative vision, accurate thinking, learning from defeat. Oh man. And here's what he says about defeat. Defeat will have become nothing but a signal for greater and more determined effort. How can you learn from defeat? Whenever you experience temporary defeat, every temporary defeat has the seed of a even greater accomplishment. So embrace defeat. When it happens, embrace it. Because listen, you're going to fail like crazy. I've fallen on my face so many times. So many times I've fallen on my face. And you just have to get up, dust yourself off, and go again. Okay? That's how you succeed. Succeed actually looks like this. Failure, 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 succeed. Failure, 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 succeed. Failure, 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 succeed. Failure, 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 fail, 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 succeed. That's how it is. And if you don't fail, you're not going to succeed. It's a part of winning. It's part of the process. All right. So, but when you do fail, learn from it. And so you can invest it in your next try to get even better. Okay. All right. Next is enthusiasm, which we talked about on our last episode. And then we have pleasing personality and now controlled attention. Okay. So let's look at what does someone who studies this philosophy, knows what he wants, and has learned to think accurately would have these qualities, okay? Would have these things down. Now, I know too many people who don't study success. They want to succeed, they say, okay? Many people that I work with, they want to succeed, but they don't really study how to succeed. And I look at them and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, for example, we offer training classes within our business for our people to plug into to learn the skills and the ways of thinking necessary to create an income and create a business. And I look at some people, they'll attend, some of the people don't attend the events at all, okay? So they're obviously not studying to succeed. Others that will plug into the events, but they're not engaged, okay? Maybe they're on their phone the whole time, or they're wondering when the lunch break is, or they're leaving the event early, and they're not really engaging in really like getting the juice out of the event, okay? What I would recommend if you really want to win is you need to be a student of success. You need to study it. You need to look at successful people, look at the people that have what you want, and study them and model those behaviors, their ways of thinking, their ways of speaking, their ways of walking, the way they carry themselves, the way they smile, like really study success. Okay, study the successful people that you'd like to have what they have, okay? And you can also make a study of the unsuccessful. You can look at the unsuccessful and you can learn from them as well. Like, okay, what are their mindsets? What are their habits? What is it about them that didn't allow them to get what they want? And you can learn from that and stay away from those things. So I would suggest make success a study. That's what I learned from Jim Rohn, and I'd say it's served me well, and I have a lot to improve, of course, but it's been a definite important skill, okay? So back to this. So the student of this philosophy knows what he wants, and he has learned to think accurately in procuring it, okay? So these are the qualities that this person that's winning in these areas would have. He has a definite major purpose in life. He's surrounded himself with trustworthy mastermind allies, okay? Because your circle is very important. The people that are in your circle are extremely important. And are you masterminding for success and winning, or are you masterminding with crackheads, okay? Are you masterminding with people who are just looking for happy hour, okay? People that aren't going, where you want to go. He's acquired self-reliance and faith sufficient for his every need. He's become a constructive unit of the great American way of life. He no longer expects something for nothing. How many people expect something for nothing? I'll tell you, lots of people. Lots of people I've worked with, they just expect business to fall out of the sky, and it doesn't work that way. All right, he's found peace and harmony within his own mind. He has learned to accept all the circumstances of his life and to make the most of them. He has acquired the art of peaceful, friendly negotiation with others in all human relationships. And he's taken possession of his own mind power and has acquired the ability to direct that power. Okay, so it'd be a great thing to rate yourself on these things and see how you're doing. In fact, let's look at it. Why don't you just pull out a pen and paper if you're listening to this, and you can do so. Pull out a pen and paper and quantify where you're at on a scale of 1 to 10 on each of these things. So the first thing being a definite major purpose. So 0 to 10. Okay, 0 means you have no freaking idea what your definite major purpose is. 10 being you have a clearly defined, written, definite major purpose that is a clear picture in your mind, and you're crystal clear. Rate yourself 0 to 10. Okay. All right. Next point is, how does your circle look? The people that you spend the most time with. So let's take the 5 people you spend the most time with, and let's quantify how does that group look in terms of how close is that group to what you want to achieve in your life. Okay. So let's say 0, 0 would be like they are not anywhere near what you'd want to achieve, which if you're anything 5 or below, you just need to eliminate that circle. Okay. Because if you want to get what you want, or if you're, 6, 7, 8, hey, you're probably pretty on track. I'm in a group of people I have a group of friends that we mastermind with, business associates, and these guys freaking push me. They push me, man. The thinking is big. The demands to perform are high, and it pushes me to become better. And you need that in your life. We all need that. You know, the Bible says iron sharpens iron. And so iron sharpens iron. So how does it go? Iron sharpens iron. So one man sharpens another. I think that's how it's quoted. Okay. Iron sharpens iron. So when iron is sharpening iron, what is that? What's happening whenever, you see like an iron worker making a piece, beating out a piece of steel into a sword or something. What do? They got to heat it up. They got to burn the crap out of it. They got to beat it. They beat the crap out of it. They put it in cold water. They take it out. They burn it again, put it in the fire, take it out, beat it some more, throw it in the water. I mean, iron sharpening iron is a painful process. So when you are around a circle of people that are molding you to become more, and it's iron sharpening iron, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to piss you off. People are going to piss you off. Somebody trying to hold you accountable is going to piss you off. And you got to be man enough or woman enough to submit to the process if you want to be molded into this new image and this new version of yourself. You got to be willing to go through the pain. And some people are too, let me put it this way, most people, 98% of people are too addicted to comfort, and they push away that accountability. They push away that pounding because they just aren't up for it. Their ego's too big. They have too much invested in holding on to their limitations that they just won't submit themselves to the process. Okay? And that's okay. That's their right. All right? Okay, so quantify yourself there. Where are you at on your circle? 0 to 10. 10 being these guys have everything I want, and they have the life that I want to have. Okay, these 5 closest people. All right. And 0 being they're all crackheads. Okay. So, all right. So next thing is he has required self-reliance and faith sufficient for his every need. So how are you on your self-reliance and your faith? Your faith that you're going to make it to what you desire. Okay. Where are you at? 0 to 10. Okay. He has become a constructive unit of the great American way of life. How much are you contributing to your community and your business by serving others? I'd say it would be, how are you doing in the service of others? So if you're in a business, you want to be in a business that serves lots of people, and that's how you're going to become successful. Okay. All right. So 0 to 10 there. Okay. He no longer expects something for nothing. So if you expect something for nothing, you're a 0. If you are, I guess there's shades of that because nobody really thinks that they expect something for nothing. Everybody probably thinks that they're willing to give it the effort, but a lot of people expect to do the least and get the most results. Like do the least work and get the most results. That's what a lot of people think. But that's not how it works. You need to do the most. Okay, you need to do the most if you want the most. And you need to do the most sometimes just to get the least. It's just sometimes that's how it works out. Okay, so rate yourself there. All right, next is he's found peace and harmony within his own mind. So where are you at on your peace and harmony? Well, 0 to 10. Where are you at? Okay, and I'll tell you, your relationship with God will bring you peace and harmony. Okay, and you may or may not have that relationship at this time, but I would highly recommend that you search, that you seek, because the Bible says, seek and ye shall find. And we all know that's true. Seek and ye shall find. So if you don't have peace and you don't have harmony, ask God to reveal himself to you. Okay? Ask God to reveal himself to you. And you may have heard the name of Jesus, and you can ask him, hey, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. And if you don't know, if you seek him, you will find, and he'll bring you peace and harmony. Okay? All right. So next thing, he has learned to accept all the circumstances of his life and to make the most of them. So how are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with accepting the circumstances, accepting the hand you've been dealt, and how much have you decided that you're going to make the most of them and you're going to play that hand to the best of your ability? Where are you at on that? Okay? 0 to 10. All right. He has acquired, next point, he's acquired the art of peaceful, friendly negotiation with others in all human relationships. How are you in peaceful, harmonious negotiation with other humans? Rate yourself on a 0 to 10. Okay. All right. Next, he's taken possession of his own mind power and has acquired the ability to direct that power. How are you doing on controlling your own mind and directing your mind to do what you will it to do? Okay. 0 to 10. Are you a monkey mind? Does your brain all over the place? Like you can't hold a thought? If that's you, you're a 0. Okay. But quantify it from 0 to 10 and just give yourself a grade. It really is helpful if you just give yourself a grade. Okay. Because awareness is the first step. Once you have awareness, then you can modify, you can change, you can get better as you as it's brought to your awareness. Okay. All right. So I hope that was helpful. And what I would do is I would look at these things. Again, we're talking about studying success. So if you're going to study, we're studying you right now and what you need to improve on. So as you look to these things to improve, I would look at, okay, well, on each thing, okay, the mental focus. If I'm at a 5 on mental focus, then what do I need to do? What needs to happen? Ask yourself this question. What needs to happen for me to take that to a 7? So if my mental focus is a 5, what needs to happen? Don't try to take it to a 10, okay? Because that's too big of a jump. What needs to happen? Just think out loud on paper. Think on paper. Write it out. What needs to happen for me to take this part of me from a 5 to a 7? And you could just come up with some ideas. Write them down, okay? If I'm looking at my circle, and my circle is, I look at my circle, I'm like, man, this is a 5 circle. I want to be at a 7. How am I going to take it from a 5 to a 7? Who needs to leave this circle? Who's a big influence on my life that needs to not be such a big influence? And just think about it, okay? And as you bring awareness to yourself and learn more about yourself, then you can improve on the results, okay? So listen. Appreciate you listening in today. Talked about controlled attention, very important part of winning at anything and achieving anything great, whether it's a good marriage, being a good parent, or having a great business, or anything, a great athlete. You need to be able to control your attention and control your focus. So please share this if you found value. Share this with your friends. We'd love to impact more people with this content. And listen, we got this on YouTube. Currently, we're going to have it up on podcast, Apple, or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the places you get your podcasts. These will be up soon. But right now, it's on YouTube at Larry Hulsey. And I appreciate you listening in. I want you to have a great day, okay? That's a wrap for today. If you got value from this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. And if this message resonated with you, share it with a friend and connect with me on social media. I'm at Larry Hulsey, and I'd love to hear how you're applying these lessons in your own journey. So remember, success is more than just one area of life. You want to keep growing, keep leading, and keep prospering the way God intended. We'll see you next time.